I don't think yeah, it's recording.
Okay.
Okay.
But no, it just started. I thought I did it. But we'll have the good part of the presentation. We'll have Kenny's part.
Okay. Well, sorry we missed the other good because that was really enjoyable. I mean, just sitting in on y'all's meeting and just to hear y'all talk to one another and exchange things that are going on in your lives. It did scare me a little bit when Bill asked everybody to stand up and salute do the Pledge of Allegiance, because usually on Zoom, you don't know what, everybody has on the bottom. Everybody might be having their shirt on the top, but you worry about what they have, So when everybody stood up, I was kind of worried about that, Bill, especially for you. It was good to see Bill Murphy, and I know you brought him up as far as being in a newspaper. Bill, it's awesome to see that you were actually in a newspaper this time for something good instead of from under the crime reports. Mary, you seem like you're very hesitant on doing the speaker role. I don't know if it's because, you have speakers like me coming in, but you did mention that you were going to look for speakers that were valuable to the club. So I guess I didn't fall into that before you took over. So we'll go on from there. But as I said, I'm the district membership chair for this year, and we're winding down, and it's good to hear that you're going to have a member coming up. Let me go ahead and go to the slideshow. I'm going to be real. Can everybody see this okay?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. So the things I want to talk about today is the themes that I've had throughout the year. And if you've been in some of the district training, I've kind of brought it up and I've kind of tweaked it out throughout the year. But really, when you're talking about membership, the focus that you got to look at, I feel, is the recruiting and retaining. So, we focus a lot on recruiting members. I think sometimes clubs really need to focus on retaining them as well. And I think, Regina, you were talking about reaching out to Bob. I assume that's a member of the club. Maybe you're muted. But I know that's one thing that needs to be done as well is, if you see members that are not meeting, during the club, whether it's Zoom or whether it's personal, let's reach out to them, especially during this time period. We really need to make sure that the members feel like they're connected.
Okay.
The next item I feel, that you need to do and value your club. I know, Bill, you mentioned that you wanted to put the awards committee together. Don't be embarrassed about that. That's what you need to do. I mean, shout, what your club is doing, not only to the district, but to the community as well. I've noticed that you've had a number of articles in the newspaper that you're doing. That's awesome. But that's the way that you get members, is that members don't join because Dr. Mark just received his, Paul Harris +5. Those things come later. Members join because they want to be involved and active and giving back to the Boys and Girls Club and stuff that you're already doing as a club. And lastly, I think this is important. We'll talk about a little bit more, is treat membership like it's a fundraiser. So often, we don't do membership wholeheartedly throughout the year like we do fundraisers. So recruiting and retaining, I guess I want to know, from y'all usually, what do you feel like is the most important? And usually, there's an argument, disagreement, or, what's more important. To me, it's not as much as far as, decide which one is more important. I will say it leans more towards retaining the memberships that we're really following as far as RI International together, because we're bringing in members, but we're losing just about as many members, if not more, every year. So, what do we need to do to fix that problem? Well, to me, you have to focus on, and this is what I said as I came in as the district membership chair this year, recruit members to be members. They need to be Rotarians. Just because they can breathe and write a check doesn't make them a member. I think you really need to focus on bringing them in because they want to be a Rotarian, they want to be engaged, and they want to add value to your club and to the community. Once you bring them in, make sure you follow this membership life cycle. Have an onboarding process. Engage them into the club as soon as they come in. Have a retention policy. How do you, I think every, 3 to 5 years, that's typically the point where you start seeing them. If they're not active, engaged in the club, that's when you're going to start losing them. And, keep that cycle going. As far as the, I don't know what your club does, Bill, You know, a lot of clubs, how they end up doing something for their members to make them, you know, feel engaged as soon as they come in is there's a new member orientation. You know, sit down with the member, give them the expectation, even before they join the club. Let them know the expectation of the club that your club has before you even bring them in. So many times you hear them, you know, somebody left the Rotary and they're like, well, I didn't realize it was, you know, the monthly lunches were that much. I didn't know dues were that much. I didn't know that I was expected to attend that many meetings. I didn't know I need to be this involved. You know, whatever your club is, and every club is different. It's one thing I've tried to focus on too. What will work for Cape Charles will not work for everybody else. So be specific of what your club will do and what's, you know, what works for you versus other clubs. But I think having a new member orientation is important and really focus on it before they join the club. I think it's Joanne that's here visiting, you know, for the third time. Make sure before she, you know, puts that application in that she does understand the expectation of the club. And what I looked at too this year was, you know, there was a lot of continuity between clubs where people were visiting clubs. You know, we fight against each other, clubs do. I think some of it's fun, you know, but we also are very competitive against each other and trying to get that, you know, that one more Rotarian in. Well, if she doesn't fit your club, but you know she'll fit another club, reach out to another club and say, hey, I got this great individual that will make a great Rotarian, but the lunch club doesn't fit. She's looking more for a, you know, breakfast club or lunch or dinner club, whatever it is. You know, so I think that's the continuity of that throughout the district would help. As far as bringing in new members, you know, a lot of clubs do what's, you know, the orientation type thing that's called like the red badge, blue badge or something. I don't know if y'all know, you know, if y'all do that or not, but you know, what our club and other clubs will have is like they'll have a sheet of 17 or 15, 17 different things that member needs to do before they go from their new member badge to their regular membership badge. So we used to do like a red badge. A red badge was, you know, they came in, you knew that they were a member, they stood out. It was done away from because people didn't like the idea that they stood out, but the whole idea is that they stood out and you go up and you talk to them. Well, that red badge, then once they then have the opportunity to go, and on that list, it could be they can do a board meeting, service project, they can go visit other clubs, they do a classification talk, whatever it is that you decide you want them to do, that helps them learn more about your club than anything else. That can be your fireside chat. What I like about the red badge is you're bringing the member in and you're introducing them as a new member to the club one time. They get a red badge. After they complete their assignments or whatever it is that you decide to do, you bring them up before the club again and they get their new badge. So you brought them up between the club at least 2 or 3 times. The other things that they can be involved in your club is working the registration table, doing their classification talk. So you have opportunities for that member to get in front of the club to get to know the club members early on. Also, I mean, find out what they like, what they want to do, and assign them to a committee. If you have enough members join in 1 year, which would be an awesome thing, let them come up with their own service project. Or if they're a new member, they want to do something different, let them come up with something different. You know, that's a way for them to, you know, get engaged and bring new, I think Stanley or somebody said, you know, we need young legs. Well, that gets the young legs and young energy in there to get things going again. One thing that I sent out, and I think Stanley, you may have received this, was, you know, clubs were asking, well, how can we, you know, start getting members now? Look at what you have as far as in your club, as far as classifications and people that are already, you know, in your club, as far as what their jobs are. You know, you just had somebody said that they had an AC man at their house. Do you have AC, you know, company member? You know, look for I call it the low-hanging fruit, the people that you know that you don't have already in your club that you can reach out to. Everybody knows somebody, you know, or we can refer somebody to. Reach out to them and try to bring them in. And then I said too, the social and service projects, that is to me, the most important thing that you can do to bring new members in. When you're out there picking up trash, when you're out there at the park doing things, when y'all are doing your fundraisers, your other things, ask your friends, neighbors, and stuff to come with you. Once they come with you and they start seeing you doing these projects, that's when they want to be engaged. That's when they want to join. So when you have things that you can reach out, I know you coordinate with other clubs, try to do things with other clubs that you can, bring other outside people from the public in. When you're doing stuff at the elementary school, can you do stuff with the parents, get their parents involved? Look at things like that you can try to reach out to people that would be, that they want to find out about what your club does. Once they find out, they're going to want to be a part of it. And that comes back to what I said about valuing your club. So all of us, if we were asked, what's of course we can't go to many restaurants or visit many places right now, but what's your best restaurant? Who's your best plumber? Who's the best AC guy? What's the best book that you've written? What's the best movie you've watched? All of us will have something quick to say. Well, what do you have to say about your club? What makes your club so special? Why would I want to, join Cape Charles compared to any other club? I mean, I know if you were in Richmond, you want to join a Richmond club, and I'd understand that. I mean, because we rock, we're not like, we wouldn't be like Bill and not give you your passcode to your meeting every week. So, but tell your story and share your club membership programs, with other people. These are some mug shots that I found. Of you guys, this is some of the things you've done, ringing bell. Did you reach out to ask anybody that to ring the bells with you? I know you've given money here. And here's, I guess this is Robert's, the new highways are to pick up trash. I assume that's still the location. But look at that. I mean, you guys are out there, it looks like on a rainy day having fun. Is that not something that other people wouldn't want to be involved in? Those are the things that you got to end up, I feel, sharing with the community and sharing with others and asking them to be involved with you. Because once they are, that's what's going to bring them in. I stole this away from the James City County Satellite Club. What they do is, I know a lot of you ask members or people to join your club or come visit your club for a meeting, and you might have, a card that they get a free meal. A lot of clubs do that. Well, on the backside of their club, what they did is they have, so on one side it says, come join me for the lunch meeting. You're my guest, write your name in or whatever. On the backside, they put what the James City County Satellite Club did in 2019. So you can list on the backside of that card all the things that you've done as a club, that when you're handing this out to people and inviting them to the club, they can actually already see some of the things that you're involved in. I just thought that was, what I always think about is if you have the opportunity to steal something from somebody else, do it. Build a value proposition. This is something you can work on, Stanley, you can work on as your membership club. And I want to say one thing right now. Stanley might be the membership chair, but all of you should be part of the membership committee, is what I feel. So Stanley, when you're getting everybody together to try to do something, come up with, with like a value proposition. Why do I want to join the Cape Charles Rotary Club? Come up with something that's unique and special for you guys that you can go out as a committee, as a group, and have the same voice to bring them in. And like I said, when I look at Stanley trying to do this himself, you always need a spirit, somebody to lead it, but you all need to be engaged. That's where I said, when you treat it like a fundraiser, that's my next thing. It's all hands on deck as far as I'm concerned. I know when y'all work on some fundraising events and stuff like that, I know a lot of clubs, as soon as the fundraising event is finished for 1 year, they're working on the next year's fundraising event. We don't do that for membership. None of our clubs really do. And that's one thing that I looked at. I mean, my club is no different. We talk about, membership. You hear a lot of clubs doing it. We'll spend a month or two, make it membership month. Well, that's not the way it's going to work, in my view. This is not how I feel. I think you need to focus on, have a plan in place that you come up with, how many club members do you want to add to your club, or you don't. That's the other thing too. This is a decision that you make as a club. Coming from the district, I've always said we can't mandate what you want to do as a club. It's your club the way you want it. Nobody from the district or anybody outside your club can mandate what your club does. So if you decide that you want to add new members, this is the way I think you should do it. I think you should treat it like a fundraiser. You challenge yourself every year. This is the plan that we're going to put in place, and everybody's going to be involved. When you do a fundraiser, isn't that the way you do it? When you go out and pick up trash, isn't that the way you do it? You typically, everybody that's capable of doing it is involved. It's not one or two people. So to me, I think you need to end up, looking at it that way. Share your story. And I think that, once you're able to share your story, get the people involved. Like you just gave a student award. I know you had to do it by Zoom meeting, but if there's a way that you can, do something like that and bring the family in to get the family to know more about Rotary, use little things like that. I know the other thing too, your club does a lot with some other clubs down in the area. Some clubs were, before this epidemic hit, what they were doing was they were doing a joint What is Rotary event. So they would go out to, like Ashland, Hanover, and Mechanicsville did it in a local brewery. And each of them, and each of their club members invited people to this Learn About Rotary event. So each of them had people come to this event. And what I really liked about it, because I came and I visited with them, you had 3 different clubs that were not competing against each other. You had 3 different clubs. One was a breakfast, one was a lunch, one was a dinner. They had it set up in the brewery. They had projects, pictures of projects. They had a PowerPoint going. They had posters of different projects, and they already do joint projects together. They've done school playgrounds and stuff like that. So they were able to tell their story about how they coordinated stuff together and the impact they were making for the community. And at this event, they also spent about 5 minutes each just talking about their club and their club members and what time they met and everything. They didn't compete against each other. They were telling the Rotary story and why do you want to be involved in Rotary. And what they were saying is, here's 3 different clubs. You got a breakfast, lunch, or dinner meeting. If you want to be involved in Rotary, you got a club that'll fit you. And I just came away from that. There are other clubs were starting to work on doing stuff like that this year, but then they were unable to do it. I think if you guys want to get together with the other clubs in the area, let me know. I can help. Even though I'm rolling off as district membership chair, I'll be glad to send you any information or help. Stanley, are you guys out with that? I just think that's an easy way to coordinate and do stuff with other clubs and bring in new members.
All right, appreciate it.
Yeah. So this is my last slide because this is what I hear a lot. I don't know if y'all can hear it, but what if my club doesn't want to change? What if it doesn't want to grow? Again, guys, that's up to you. Okay. I've throughout the year, and you guys know me, I'm not one that'll come in and push your, that you need to do something. It is a decision that the club has to make. And I think rolling off this year into next year is a prime time to do it. I think you need to sit down personally and come up with a plan. What does the Cape Charles Club want to look like next year? What do we want to look like in 3 to 5 years? Let's get a plan together. How many members do we want to have? Let's get a plan and commitment together, figure out a way that we can grow, and together let's work on growing this if that's what you want to do as a club. The club needs to be behind it. The club needs to be supportive of it. And what I always recommend as well, when you have board meetings, if the membership chair is not part of the board already, they need to be a part of the board meetings as well. They need to also, I feel like, during club meetings, give an update of where you stand in membership. Keep it front and center. That's what we do for fundraisers. Why shouldn't we do the same for membership? That's all I have. There is my information, but more importantly, if you look to the left of the screen, you will see Sue Carter, her information, and she's coming as the district membership chair next year, starting July 1. She is incredible. She's going to do an incredible job. She's already started, her and I are coordinating stuff together as far as a transition. I would encourage Mary, if you're looking for a speaker, get Sue to come to your club. Ask her about her green eggs and ham.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So ask her about her green
I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
My daughter still loves to read her book. I'm so thankful that I brought this.
Yeah. So
Well,
reach out to
hey,
Sue.
Kenny, thanks so much for coming out to see us. And
Sure
when
thing.
this thing blows over, come have a sandwich and some soup on us. You just light up the room whenever you join the situation. And I'm just so sorry that it had to be an electronic one, but we'll take it as it is. You'll be happy to know that we do many of the things that you suggest, but we don't do them all. So we have a lot of ways to go, and it's just not Stanley, it's all of us. If you would send us your PowerPoint, send it to Stanley and myself. We can really go back and take it apart and figure out what really would work for us. There are a couple of ideas there I think that we will benefit from. So
Sounds good.
once again, you and your family, we wish you the best. And I guess we'll be seeing each other again soon.
I hope so. I'll be coming down to see you guys. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Diane. Diane. Diane's going to sleep at the switch. So with respect to what we think, say, and
No, I'm
do.
sorry. I was on mute, but I can't do the screen share because Kenny hasn't released it.
Oh, I thought you just fell asleep because I was presenting.
No, I was on mute. I forgot I had turned it on.
All right, now, okay, so now we don't need it necessarily. Oh, there we go. Thank you. With regard to what we think, say, and do, one, is it true? Is it fair to all concerned? 3, will it build goodwill and better friendship? 4, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And Stanley,
Will we have fun?
see you next week, folks. Bye-bye.
A new show.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you.